Hi, my name's Chris Nicholson. I'll be your instructor for this course this semester. I had a great video just made, but it had a technical problem, so I'm kind of upset because it had such good stuff in it. Anyway, so I'm Chris Nicholson again. This is my sixth semester at Pellissippi. If you don't include the one other semester before that where I was an adjunct. I've been teaching computer science off and on at different colleges for over a decade. My academic background would be BA French with minor in religious studies from UT, BS in computer science from UT, and an MS, a master's degree from Georgia Tech in computer science. This course is CITC 2376. I always have, especially since we haven't taught it in a while, I have to memorize that course number. Mobile application programming, and it's a spring or development. I've got programming here, but development there. Anyway, it's for spring 2022. This course is asynchronous online. So most of you students have probably had at least one asynchronous online course. You know what that means. So if you've had me before, you know how I kind of do. I sort of do Mondays. I try to target, it might be an exception every now once in a while, but your work will be due at the end of the day on Mondays. And new work will be released at the beginning of the day on Monday. So midnight Monday, new material overlaps with the due date being coming up for that night at 11:59 on that Monday. So if you're already done, you can get started on the new work. If you have some final questions before the deadline, you can ask them on that same day. So that's typically how I do it. I might have like 2-week modules instead of 1 week. We'll see. But you sort of know how asynchronous works, right? Asynchronous means not at the same time. So we will not have class meetings either online or in real life. Or we have a class meeting time where we have to meet. We just have weekly or bi-weekly deadlines. We'll have where you have deliverables that you turn in every once in a while to due dates. All right, so the textbook, there is no textbook. All the material is online mostly, if not all. It's going to be Google developer stuff that has to do with Android. I've taught Android before. This is the first time it's been taught in years at Pellissippi, from what I've heard. It's the first time I've taught at Pellissippi. I've taught it before with a textbook, and what I found is it sort of worked, but things get out of date with Android really quickly, even more quickly than typical IT programming stuff. So I'm going to try something different. And this is an elective class. This is the stuff I'm about to go into that I thought I did really well in the last video. So let's see if I can do it again. This is an elective class, and that means the way I see elective classes is they're meant to be enrichment. They're meant to give you a little bit more breadth in your knowledge. So things about like figuring out how algorithms work and learning the basics of a new language and learning how to think like a programmer and all that kind of stuff. You should have some skill in that already. Those objectives, the outcomes we have for the whole program for an associate's degree should be mostly covered, if not entirely covered, in your other courses, in my opinion. There might be 1 or 2 check boxes in this one we go over. Maybe things like, working with others or that sort of thing. But as far as outcomes, I see this as just another coat of paint, or I don't know if that's the right metaphor or not, but it's more breadth. So I'm not saying you shouldn't take this class seriously. I want to make it less painful than maybe some of your other classes are, more fun. The main way you'll see that is a lot of the activities in this class are not so much trying to solve a puzzle about how to put things together. Like we give you the components, you're like, okay, put them together to solve this problem, right? There might be a little bit of that in this class, but a lot of it's also just kind of what we sometimes call punch and run. So it's just teaching you how the framework of Android works so that you have another tool to use to go along with the skills you already have. I'm just trying to give you my perception of how the class should work. And also it hasn't been taught in a while, so I'm kind of developing some materials, the activities, putting them together still. So you might need to bear with me with a little bit of that. But I want this to be fun and not a chore, because learning mobile programming, I think, should be more fun than not rigorous. It should be rigorous, but more than a pain. Anyway, with that out of the way, it is Android. The class it would take some red tape to change it from Android, the syllabus. I prefer Android myself anyway. It's a little bit less proprietary than the Google stuff is. then the Apple stuff is iPhone's more proprietary, right? Android, I think Android does have a bigger market share, doesn't it? At least worldwide. But anyway, it's a little bit more open software kind of thing, philosophy. And it's going to be more, because it's Java, it's going to be more easily to deliver in a course format than the specific tools, in my opinion, that you need to use for doing iPhone development. But a lot of techniques you learn here should be transferable to any kind of mobile development. All right, so that's why we're using Android. And we'll learn more about Android as we go. Again, the textbooks, there's no textbook, so you should be fine there. Officially on paper, let's look at, actually, I don't like to do the face videos most of the time in class. This is the last time you'll see me. I just like on the first day for a welcome video. The rest of the time it will just be this, where I'm showing you like the desktop as I work on things. So let's look at the syllabus real quick. First of all, you'll probably get an announcement that says to start here, and it'll direct you to the start here checklist. And again, I do checklists in my courses, especially since the pandemic. So you see how I have a start here checklist. The first thing I want you to do, and this is like the biggest first thing I want you to do, after you watch this video maybe, and I probably should put it up here at the top. I don't see it. Let's see. This might take some revision before you get it, so yours might look a little different as I refine things. Surely I have it. Yeah, I do have it. There'll be an item on the checklist if it isn't already where you do an introduction post. So this is the first thing I want you to do. This is the fastest deadline, so keep this in mind. There's a policy of like you have to do something substantial work, participate in the course, no longer than 14 days between participations before I have to report you as stopped attending. And then they decide whether to drop you from the course or not after that. So what does that mean? Participation in the course doesn't mean just logging in and looking at stuff. It means doing something in the course. So posting in a discussion forum would reset the clock. Taking a quiz or an exam would reset the clock. Submitting a lab, not just getting the grade back, but if you submit the lab, that restarts the clock. Submitting any assignment would reset the clock. So you need to do something in the course without waiting 14 days in between, so you don't risk being reported as not attending. If I do have like a 2-week assignment, which I might have sometimes, there'll be leeway there. Like I'll give you another week after that probably before I report you, and I might actually try to like sprinkle in some more discussion forum posts or something in between so we can reset the clock easier. But as long as you understand that, that's part of why you need to understand why it's so important that as soon as possible, as soon as you watch this video, go and introduce yourself in the discussion forum. Because the first deadline we all have, including me, is to report, like probably by Friday at the latest, maybe even Thursday, who's shown up for the semester, the no-shows versus the show. Like they'll ask for a report. Who's not shown up? If you post in the discussion forum, say, this is me, my name's this is what I do, then you will be counted present for the semester. That's doing something in the course. So I'm going to show you a demonstration of how to do this. If you're looking at the screen right now, you'll see I have an example here. The easiest thing to do is just copy and paste that example. So I'm copying it. Then I go to introductions and start a thread, start a new thread. And in the post body here, paste those answers that I gave for myself. And of course you want to change them for you, right? Because you're not Chris Nicholson, and you don't go by Chris probably. And your major might be similar, but you didn't go, so anyway, you get the idea. You don't have to necessarily answer every single one of these questions. Just your name and preferred to be called by would be enough. If some other stuff's more personal, but you can add some too if you want. Just make sure you're not make sure you stay within Pellissippi policy. Then at the subject, put your name and make sure you don't have caps lock on. I will try to respond to everyone. I like to welcome everyone to the class. If you want to respond to people, that's also fine. be polite or whatever. But like if somebody says something interesting or involved in something you're involved with or whatever, you can always like chat with them. I encourage that. So it's not required, but what's required is you introduce yourself by starting a new thread, but you're also perfectly welcome to reply to other people. And this will be counted as a participation grade. So with that being said, I don't know if I talked about the syllabus. I probably didn't. I don't remember talking about it. So let's go to the syllabus. It's in the course resources. Syllabus. All right. So again, the only thing that I think supported, we only support Windows, but because this is Java stuff, Android Studio, you should be able to probably do it in Linux and Mac as well with no problems. But I will not necessarily be able to support you on it if you have trouble with Mac or Linux or something. Technically speaking, it's Windows is the only thing I want to guarantee. So your mileage may vary if you use other systems, but Mac I think is supposed to be particularly good for Android development. So you probably are in luck with that. But again, I don't support it. I don't do Mac. So I am in the market for a new laptop, so maybe I'll get a MacBook this time, but we'll see. Anyway, so here's the syllabus, and here's we were lucky that we saved ours. You might see some artifacts in some of our syllabi though, because we had to do OCR and blank page here. But anyway, so testing exams are 40%, laboratory assignments are 50%, and then other things are 10%. So other evaluation methods will be stuff like discussion forum posts and stuff that'll be in there. So your lab expectations will I haven't got it all mapped out yet, but I might divide it up into like homework or so that would be the other evaluation methods, and then like lab stuff. So right now I'm thinking this may change, but the first week I have you. So for the first week, we're just going to get started, get our feet wet, because who knows how this will shake out before next week and who's still here and who had to change things or whatever. So all I want you to do the first week is to download Android Studio and install it on your Windows machine or at your own risk on your other machines. Again, you should probably be fine on Linux and Mac, but I can't necessarily help you, but it should probably be fine. But download and install Android Studio, and then I want you to do is take a picture of like the main screen. I think I made a video on this, so I'll tell you what to take a screenshot of. And then I decided for that first week that wasn't quite enough. So what I want you to also do is I made another video that I'm going to upload here presently that shows you how to run your first program, like a very simple program in Android Studio, an app, right, for a phone. And I want you to do that as a lab. So like the 10% grade participation or whatever, in addition to the discussion post, that will be just installing it. And then running the little applications, very easy, will be your lab grade for the first week. So I'll be adding a lab grade, and it probably won't see it in this checklist, but it says assignment 1. That's going to change. So anyway, I'll probably call it homework 1 and assignment 1 or something. But anyway, that's for the first week. Anything else? I use a lot of videos in my courses, so I haven't made all the videos yet for this course. I've got a bunch of like a couple hundred made since the pandemic in my other courses, but I'll be making videos as we go to just show you how to do the labs and stuff. So make sure you watch those videos. I should have put this in every welcome message, but I'll put it in yours so you guys you're the last group that I made a welcome message for. But if you come to office hours and you haven't watched the videos that covers the stuff that I covered that you're asking questions about, I'm going to tell you to go back and watch the video and then schedule another office hour if you still have questions, because it happens to me a lot. And like students will come and like expect me to handhold them through labs. I don't do that this semester, and lots of students have done this. I'm not talking to anyone in particular, but watch all the videos first. If you have a question about like a particular lab and you haven't watched the video for the lab, do that before you make an office hours schedule. You're perfectly fine to make office hours all the time, but if you're going to ask questions about the stuff I covered in the video, we're just doubling the work when we don't need to. So, and I probably describe it a lot better with video examples, right, than I would be able to explain on the fly in office hours. So please watch the material. I know I ramble a lot. You can tell already in this welcome video, so bear with me. But it'll be a lot faster if you watch the video with a rambling or not than it will be trying to figure out on your own or having me help you from point zero in an office hour. Now, if you do watch the material and you still have questions, obviously, you're perfectly welcome to schedule office hours. Anything else? Give feedback a lot as audio. I won't promise I do it for every assignment. It really depends. I might create some rubrics. So if you do well on the rubric, there might not be a reason to give you feedback because, hey, you just did a good job. If you have some problems, sometimes it's easier for me to describe it orally, though. So don't be surprised if you never had audio feedback. That's the way I do it in Brightspace, where you just kind of record a little feedback. Anything else? I think I already said checklist. If it's not in the checklist, you're not responsible for it. So if you do have an assignment to turn in, it will be in the checklist. Oh, and announcements. I make announcements a lot. I try not to overdo it. If I make an announcement, it's something you need to know about. So check every day to see if ideally to see if I've made an announcement. If you have it set up right in Brightspace, I think it sends you an email to your student email too when I make an announcement. So if you see that I made an announcement in email, go check the announcement. If you have Pulse set up correctly, the little app for Brightspace, it should also show you when I make announcements. But pay attention to those announcements because a lot of times students ask me questions about something and I'm like, I made an announcement about that. So don't ignore those announcements. I know you get overloaded probably from other courses and stuff and from Pell Recipient Administration about financial aid stuff or whatever, but try to pay attention to the announcements in your courses because they can save you a lot of time. Like for instance, hey, this is not due tomorrow, it's due next week instead. That happens a lot in announcements. So any other questions? Again, if you have questions, send emails to cjnicholson@pstcc.edu from your pstcc.edu account, so I know it's you, ideally. And don't use Brightspace messaging. It's a pain in the butt. That's just try to enjoy yourself this semester, especially in this course. Again, I want this one to be more fun than your other courses, so we'll see how it goes, and have a good time this semester.